It was Skelfmere, right? The marshal who talked to
Marshal
us.
Scalfmere was the one that was staring up at the vessel and just kind of like talking to you nonchalantly from the sideline.
And he's the one I mentioned about the fruits and vegetables. And then he turned to me like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I'm just going to look at him and go like, I can imagine it would be difficult to farm fresh fruits and vegetables way up here.
Well, quite. And, unfortunately, that is something that the Sidorians have a problem with also, so, it's not like we can rely on them.
Well,
Interesting. How long have you been doing trade with these people?
It must be nigh on
These people.
27 years by now.
Did they just show up one day? How did you find them?
Well, they found us.
Interesting.
I was not here at the time, but from what I understand, the vessel came floating down out of the clouds. Quite a few of the dwarves manned the battlements and were prepared to open fire, but they waved a white flag of truce and come hovering down above the city. Climbing down from the ladders was an elderly woman who claimed herself to be captain of the vessel known as the Offspray. And she came about twice a year for nigh on a decade, and then after that, from what we understand, she passed away, and her daughter, Carinthia Vance, had took up the mantle of captain for the Osprey and has continued ever since.
Twice. Oh.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Twice a year. That seems kind of scarce.
Well, from what I understand, it's quite a trip to the northwest to where they come from. And many-sided dice, thank you so much for the cheer, my friend. And we will thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Message here in just a minute.
So, you said that they prefer these mountainous settlements and towns and cities, if you will. That they're not. They don't frequent the ground.
I prefer them, but Captain Vance comes from a city that apparently is high up in the mountains, much like our own. To be truthful, they keep themselves to themselves and do not tend to give us much information other than what they deem as necessary, and being dwarves and very understanding of that, we don't ask, as I mentioned, a lot of questions.
Right. Not to come across as overbearing, if you will, with curiosity. It doesn't always go over well, we have found.
Well, I don't know about down south. Where do you come from? But dwarves are not fond of, those that pry. We're a very private people. We like to keep our private matters, private.
Well, with the most recent conversation prior to this being about the tiger and the white lady, the lady in white, as you were, I'm just going to look to Kia and Marlo and say, I seem to recall the last person we pestered with questions to get answers from, that was in Finnerton. It was a lady in white, remember? And she kind of threw us into that collective punishment of the town.
What? What are you talking about?
It's just a thought I was having since Marlo mentioned that tiger.
Yeah, I've been thinking the same thing he is thinking for the best.
What does that have to do with this situation?
Well,
exactly.
We don't want to meet these new people and just demand answers from them. It doesn't work well for us. Just our methods haven't been.
Would you agree, Marshall, since he's standing right there?
Well, I don't know about your dealings with others, but, As I've said to you before, while you're here in Cairnemoore, mind your P's and Q's and don't upset the local populace.
Well, that's a given, but perhaps there's a deal that can be made, not between Captain Vance and her people and us, but a deal between the Lowlanders and maybe Arconis itself and you guys.
Arconis is way too far south to be of any practical,
That's true.
trade alliance, but, if you have a mind to suggest that we should possibly consider something with these Lowlanders, well, I'm afraid you're talking way above my station. You're going to have to discuss that with, the Lord of the Halls.
Well, he did say that we would meet again in a couple of days, correct?
I believe he said something along those lines, yes.
So,
But, meet with
Fair
Lord,
enough.
the Lord, Borgund Ironbeard when he summons you and suggest that to him if you're of a mind. I don't know if he'll have any interest in it, but, it is a curiosity to be sure that, the one thing that we do lack is the ability to, grow fresh fruit and vegetables.
well, that is something we can indeed do.
I'm
There's al-
assuming you wouldn't mind having it more than twice a year.
Well, as I said, Captain Vance didn't bring that kind of stuff herself. Her trade goods are a little bit more specific and unusual.
But such
No,
a thing.
we never want to impede on your trade with her. We just want to add to it. Correct, Radovan?
That's exactly correct. If this works out, as you suggest, we bring it up to Mr. Ironbeard. We could increase your advantage over the trade deals with these people.
Aye. There is some possible truth to that, aye, and I think it's definitely something you should discuss with Lord Ironbeard when you have the opportunity.
I do know that the wares that you trade with her, I'm sure the Lowlanders might find interesting. You said weapons and stuff of that sort.
Us dwarves are known for our ingenuity with working the metal, as it were, so I'm sure that what we have is far superior than what those wretched Lowlanders can come up with.
You're probably right.
Perhaps we can, without stepping on any toes, meet with Captain Vance. Obviously not to discuss this potential trade agreement between you and the Lowlanders.
Well, no, that would have nothing to do with Captain Vance. As I mentioned earlier, when she descends from the lofts again, if I happen to be around, I'll introduce you.
Well, thank you. Yes, we do not want to just approach strangers without invite or...
No, quite.
And,
It
yeah.
pays to be proper. Now, if you will excuse me, I have certain duties to attend to now that the offspray is hovering above our fair city.
Of course, we'll be around here or perhaps in the inn.
Well, I bid you
Or
good
the
day.
library.
Aye, Miss Marlowe. So you're finding our modest library to your liking, then?
There are lots of books.
Well, indeed there are. A plethora of books, you might say.
Plethora is a good
Yes.
word, Marlo.
Possibly 1 million of them.
Cornucopia.
Thank you,
Books
Lord
by the
Skelton.
million. Oh, that'd be a great name for a library, wouldn't it? Books a million. Books a million. I'll suggest that to the librarian.
That's a good idea. Though such names kind of denote the need, public access kind of thing. Not going to get many
Of
people.
course, our library is
It'll be
far
very
from
privately
public.
owned. Maybe the librarians.
Yes,
there's
yes.
two of them.
You raise a good point.
Barnes and
Anyway,
Noble.
I'll be off.
Good day.
All right, so he strolls back towards the Lord's Hall.
We gotta get on that ship.
Well, wait.
What?
Why, Kia?
I'm saying they're going in the direction of the Valkyrie, and we could hitch a ride. They could drop us off. You never know.
We could find out if they know the Valkyria and
Also
have dealings with them.
They probably do.
Well,
If they're coming all the way out here, I'm sure they pass over. Unless they're coming the other way, I don't know.
But, I mean, what other reason would you want to hitch a ride with them? You fly yourself. Last I recall.
Well, you don't. I can't carry all of you.
I haven't found a need to fly. If I had to and was permitted to, I would. Just
We
so you
can
know.
skip so many
to?
problems if we got on that ship and they dropped us off.
That's kind of why I don't, Kia. I'm not in this life to skip problems. It doesn't really go over well
But
with
are
my
you
fate.
in this to do the smart thing, and that's to fly over a bunch of enemies and monsters into the place we need to get to now, which is the Valkyrie?
Do you really want to fly into
It's
a strange...
about the journey, not the destination.
Shut
What
up,
Marlo
Marlo.
said.
What I'm
Marlo
saying
is
is,
right.
Now
think you're
Marlon
right.
wants to be all full of philosophy and stuff.
I think you're right. I think they do trade with the Valkyrie, and they would give us a fantastic introduction if we were to get in their good graces.
Well, it is a possibility. We'll see. I mean, the other option is, of course, the Hill Dwarves. They definitely have a way to introduce us to the Valkyrie,
Correct.
possibly on neutral terms. The only reason why I would like to meet this Captain Vance is for what you just brought up, which is very smart and intelligent, and good on you for thinking of it, because I honestly did not. But also to see if they have what their magical situation is. And I'm going to kind of twiddle my finger over the magical ring in my pocket. Because at least we'll learn more about what they're capable of. I mean, flying notwithstanding, as I point up at the balloon. Yeah.
Okay. How do we talk to them? They clearly are private people, so we need a plan of approach to not, be overbearing as we usually are.
Right.
So how do we figure out who they are and what they're doing and everything we want to know without seeming like we're trying?
Why can't we just be honest?
No, that's very overbearing. They're private people.
We could be honest, Kia, without being overbearing.
How?
They have a trade deal with the
I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, so they have a trade deal with the dwarves. If we let them know that the dwarves have a potential problem in the future if they don't deal with the situation that's happening in their world, it's a way to let them in on the problem without demanding something of them. Maybe?
I think they'll know that they aren't in really much danger being so high up and cut off. They'll say exactly what the dwarves said.
Probably true. But
So, if we just try to foster a positive trading relationship, perhaps we can just infiltrate that way.
I don't
know.
want to infiltrate anything.
I don't, that's not what I meant to say. I couldn't think of the right word.
At the very least, we can mention the Valkyrie as our stated purpose and see if there's any recognition on their faces. Like if they've heard the name, they've heard the word, they might say, oh, we deal with them as well. And that could be our in.
And perhaps if they're unwilling to let us, if they did want to let us hitch, we could offer some work on the ship.
She's really intent. You just really want to fly on that ship.
Yes, I do. I'm sorry. It's so cool. Look at it!
We still have the Lowlanders. We have to let them know what's happening. At the very least, we talked to Ironbeard and maybe convince him that this trade idea is a good idea.
Okay.
Maybe they'll send a delegation down to meet with the Lowlanders with us. Maybe we'll get a skiff ride. At the very least, I don't think we should leave here unless we have a skiff and some goats, because that'll make life easy for just on us in general, even if we don't get anything out of it. We buy it, possibly, right?
Well, what did you spend your gold on? Do you still have it?
It's on commission. It's being made.
All right.
And I'm gonna shift
Being
comfortably
made.
on my seat. Yeah, it's a special material component necessity thing.
Okay. I'm not
But
gonna question that.
you have your ruby dust you want to do, correct? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and Marlo apparently wants to go back to the library.
Yes, please.
And where's Beecham? Is he with us?
No, Beecham was going somewhere else. He passed by us doing something. I don't fucking remember.
Well, he went initially. He went to the jewelers to cash in his large amount of gold for gems. Then he took Radovan's armor to be repaired, the chainmail, and then he pretty much has been like holed up in the Delve Inn since then.
Getting wasted. Right. Well, why don't you go to get your rubies converted, and I'll be out here just waiting to see if Captain Vance descends again. I mean, we don't want to miss her, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
All right. So you want to loiter around to try to catch Captain Vance when she comes back down. Marlo, were you heading to the library?
I wanted to go back to the library. They pulled
Okay.
me out here for some reason. I didn't know what we were doing.
Well, you all I think initially you all came out here because Kia said something about she would come back to the library with you and help you research or help you learn.
Yeah.
So that was a thing. But,
Yeah.
you know, that's up to you. You can wait around on Kia all day if you want, or you can just go and start pouring through old dusty tomes
I
again.
think that's what I probably am going to
Okay.
do, because there's so many. I got so
All
much
right.
to look at.
So you had, thus far, you had rolled a 6 on your research. So you head back down. They recognize you and let you back down into the lower levels, into the library, so you can start continuing to do your research. At the end of this day, you will roll another d20 and add it to the 6 that you've already achieved. And when you get to a certain number, you may possibly discern some information. All right, Kia, you wish to go to the jewelers then, is this correct?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Let's head over to that building then. Get back over here. Stop. There we go, and I'll zoom in to get that appropriately scaled. Okay, Kia.
Hi.
So there you go. Yeah, so you enter into the jewelers. As I described to Radovan last session, as you walk in, there are kind of a greenish marble tables everywhere. All the ones to your far left seem to be adorned with various different jewels in glass cases. Anything from small, semi-precious jewels to incredibly large sapphires, diamonds, rubies, and such. There are 2 beautifully crafted dragons on your immediate right. A golden and silver dragon. There are a gold and silver kind of like small, almost like bird cages on to your left with another bronze statue of some kind of flying creature. All the way over to the far right seem to be a collection of crafted gold figurines. Anything from creatures, birds, bowls, fists, hands, and there are a collection of small dwarven bronze statues all in the same pose all the way down at the far end, and a large golden chair that is carefully and lovingly been crafted seems to be for sale as well. The dwarf here is bald. He has what appears to be kind of like a single eyepiece which has a pop-up lens to it.
Okay.
He has a kind of a bushy beard that comes just down from his chin, but other than that, his head and his sides of the face are completely and utterly hairless. He seems
Alright.
noticeably a little nervous when you walk in. He's like, "Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you, miss."
I'm gonna walk up gracefully. What do you mean, meet
Oh,
me?
well, it's very rare that we get to see any elves here in Cairnemoore.
Well,
He's
do you
like
have
a
any
cat head in his hand.
pressing questions about my race? Get it out now.
No, here in Calvaric we are long since done with any form of animosity to your kind. What can I do for you? Perhaps I could interest you in some gold figurines, possible fine jewelries, ruby dust, or anything like that at all that you might have interest
Well,
in.
I don't really have much interest in figurines, but I would like to purchase some ruby dust.
What a coincidence! I happen to have some
How did-
freshly crushed here.
Why?
And he
Why is
reaches
that a
underneath the
coincidence?
cabinet and
Right.
pulls out a small box that he lifts the lid on, and you can see like a fine little mound of crushed bright red gemstone.
Already ready. Did
Oh,
Radavan ask for me?
Well, it's a very common thing that people require ruby
It
dust
is?
up here. Oh yes, absolutely, yes. Very, very useful stuff. And I like to make sure that all of my patrons are well taken care of. How much would you like?
How much is in there? Look at the box.
Well, there's probably about 6 or 7 ounces, about close to 2,000 gold pieces worth.
All right, I'll take that.
The lot.
Take the lot. No, 1,500 of it. You can keep some of it.
Well, that's well, we can
Measure it
close for
out.
business for early today. Yesterday I had a rip-roaring trade as well. It's been quite a blessing these last couple of days. It's fun to have visitors. Well, not a problem. And he gets another small box and gets out a set of very delicate-looking little scales and starts adding weights to them, pouring the powder on very slowly until they miraculously come to a level. And then he takes off one of the scales, tips it into the other box and says, "There you go, 1,500 gold pieces worth of finest crushed ruby dust.
Perfect.
How will you be paying today?"
I'm just gonna start shaking out my backpack.
He says, "One
You're
moment,
gonna have to count these.
I'm prepared for this." And he pulls out a couple of like tin trays and lays them on the
All right.
counter.
I'll take 1,500 gold pieces.
While you're dumping it on the trays, he goes over and unlocks the locks on one of the huge chests behind him, lifts the lid, and you catch a glimpse of gold shining from inside it. And
Oh.
slowly but surely, he starts shoveling the gold from the trays into the chest. Once it's all done, he closes up the chest, swiftly puts the tray back underneath the counter, and says, "Now, is there anything else I can do for you?"
That'll be it. It's been a pleasure. I'm very surprised you had such ample supply.
Well, look around you. We are a very fortunately locale for such things. Very good supply of mines for such wonderful gems around here, you know.
Well, thank you. I'm gonna go this way and show Cal these 2 dragons.
Okay. Cal
'Cause
looks
they
at
look
him and he's
just like
like,
him.
you see him kind of scowling and he says, "That one's left paw is larger than its right.
Well,
I've seen better.
I thought you would
They
appreciate
don't
it.
even
You've seen
have typically their tails aren't even that long anyway. They're out of
You've
proportion."
seen better? Alright. Fine, I'm not getting you one. I'll leave.
Okay, so you leave the jewelers. Alrighty. Okay, meanwhile, back outside in the streets of Cairnemoore. Let's go ahead and hover ourselves a little further over. Alright, so, yeah, by the time you come back out, you can still see Radavan mulling around in the streets. Obviously, Marlowe has made her way down into the libraries, and Beecham is still nowhere to be seen. The vessel itself, however, is lowering down on kind of like platforms that are held by 4 ropes, several crates, and you can see quite a few dwarves are like hovered around the base of it, ready to receive the shipment as it comes down. Quite quickly, they begin to unload them, and then a dwarf, presumably some kind of foreman, starts to conduct all the various different tradesmiths around the town that you've seen that were they were amassing chests outside their establishment to bring them over and stack them up on the platform in an orderly fashion. You ought to bring yes, you Artemis Smith, you're first, bring it over. And slowly but surely they just kind of like bring over their wares and stack them, and he's like going along precariously looking where stuff is placed, and no, that's gonna have to go to the left. Like he's actually precariously making sure that it is all balanced properly so that when it is hoisted back up into the vessel it doesn't spill.
I'm gonna look back and see Kia and like wave her over.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of hurry over there.
Okay.
You're trading now? Shipment?
I guess so. They're loading. I mean, dragons aside, imagine if this thing was with the Drakkar battle. I mean, if we got rid of the dragons, imagine all the pitch and tar we could have thrown overboard and lit on fire, just like soaked them on death.
Oh. Shh.
Well, I'm just saying.
Fuck, bro.
I'm just saying. It would have been
the
the
bastards,
best
burn the
strategy. The Drakkar, young. I mean, they wouldn't have known it.
I also think the dragons would have destroyed it instantly.
I'm saying dragons aside. I mean...
Okay, you can't though, because they were dragons.
They're not dragons anymore.
They were like literally there.
They were there, rather than.
I'm just thinking about this, whatever this is, how
It's
it
cool.
got made.
Right. I want to know. I want to know too. That's why I want to learn more. Has she come down yet?
No. I would have gotten you if she had, but...
Could you believe this? The jeweler had ruby dust prepared.
Oh, he did? Oh, how fortunate. I'm immediately going to say, let's go find Marlo. You help her with the research. I'm just going to start walking, like, underneath the balloon, still looking up.
I'm just going to shake my head laughing. Like, okay.
All right.
Marlo. Let's go. I don't want to leave here.
Well, have Cal just keep a lookout.
Okay. I'm going to open my bag up so Cal can hop out and say,
Okay.
I'm going to say to him, some fancy, or if a woman comes out of that ship looking like a captain, let us know.
It is fine.
Please.
And he hops out of the bag and runs and
There's-
props himself up on a crate.
Okay.
Just
There's
sitting there
milk
licking his
as a
paw
prize.
and looking around, eyeing each crate to see if there's possibly anything in there that might be edible that he could possibly steal.
Wow.
Are you and Cal okay?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just glad he's back.
I mean, he always was known to give me the death stare. I'm just saying, he seems to be doing that to you as well. Just makes me think.
I don't know. I've been doing everything right. Maybe even better than him now. Maybe he's not so sure anymore.
I don't think so. He wanted to skewer me when I tried to cast Endure Elements on him the other day, so...
Whatever. He's fine.
Okay.
Alrighty. So the rest of you, you two are going to head down into the library below and leave Cal
Right.
on the lookout. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Do you wish to do anything productive, or you just want to assist in Marlo with her literature and hunting?
Just assisting.
Alright.
Like,
If
I
Kia
am-
is helping Marlo, Kia can give Marlo her intelligence bonus. So what is your
that's
intelligence bonus?
+2.
Alright, so you can add +2. So that's actually a +1, as soon as you have a -1.
Yeah, rub it in.
So that'll help. What are
Right,
you
you're
doing, Radha?
relevant.
I'm doing my own research on
Ooh.
anything, and I'm going to ask the innkeeper, I mean the librarian, the
The
innkeeper.
innkeeper. Yeah.
I'm going to ask the librarian for help finding as any information on religious iconography or about the Lady in White, about ladies in white in religion, ladies in white in spotting
He
in the
looks at it and he
cold.
says, well, you can probably find possibly 100,000 volumes that may have reference to women wearing white clothing.
Yeah, but not
But,
like fashion.
What kind of books are these?
Anything of a theological fashion you will find, most of which are over on the far right section on the bottom floor. We have some volumes that are on the second floor, but you're not permitted up the ladders to see those.
Okay, fair enough. So I'll just go to the bottom floor and look through the theological texts.
Okay.
For anything having to do with lady in white, women in white, moral, like selfishness,
Scandalous.
selflessness, that kind of stuff. Principles of being good, upstanding people.
You got a cat. You got a Goki.
All right. Alrighty. So, Radovan, you're only spending half a day, so you can roll the d20 plus your intelligence modifier, but we're going to have it for you.
Oh, have the results?
Yeah.
So I'll just do an intelligence roll?
Yeah.
Yay, 5!
So, Radovan, you've got 5 points of research on the table. Marlo, you can go ahead and make your dice roll. You already have 6.
Wait. I got too excited.
So, d20 plus 1 to add to your 6. For
That's
the
mine,
research.
right?
Yeah. Ooh,
Yay.
16.
Ooh.
All right.
Ooh.
So that's 24 on your total research after another full day. Okay. All right. So
feel
you
like
spend
Sims
pretty much
now.
all day of what you deem to be probably a good 8 or 9 hours poring over old dusty tombs. Radovan, you find little to nothing of anything that would lead you to understand anything about women in white. Possibly, you may have read a few things about Vestal Virgins and stuff like that, but it's not obviously applicable. Marlo has continued to do research, and pretty much you've started to find some things that refer to other volumes. So as you start reading these, you end up going and finding the other volumes and reading something else, and then that points you to something else. And you've started to kind of like come across this format of research that's going on where books are referencing other books. Okay, so pretty much a full day has passed. There is no sign of Cal whatsoever.
Oh, no.
Oh, good old man.
So when I feel enough time has passed, I'm just gonna go to Marlo and Kian and say like, dinner, rest.
I'm just gonna go in my head and see, like, what Cal's up to. Like, why
Okay,
haven't you talked to me?
You cannot seem to... There is no communication between you and Cal right now. You can't
shit.
feel him or
Alright.
hear him or sense him.
Maybe a
let's
little
go.
bit of food, and maybe more books.
See?
We could do the books tomorrow. We'll get up bright and early. Just like clear your
I mean,
head.
after literally staring at white pages all day in a dark, dank room, it's like you probably, some of you may even have borderline headaches and stuff like that, and it's just like the words are starting to blur together.
I mean, we'll most likely get summoned tomorrow, so we meet Ironbeard. Get that rolling. Our commissions will probably be done. Let's see what Beecham has done.
Commissions?
Yeah, commissions.
Yeah,
and
like,
I'm just
they
gonna
took up
say,
sales jobs.
let's go. And I'm just gonna leave without answering anything.
Okay.
Did we commission something, Kia?
I don't know what Radvan did.
Okay. When you get to the top of the stairs, you notice that the guards that are normally there, there's only one, and a couple of guards are charging around outside looking for something. They're like, "The foul beastie went that way, towards... He went towards the arena! Follow me!"
Oh no. What beastie?
He's-
Just gonna yell that out.
It was a strange creature. 1 second, I witnessed a black cat creeping along, and when I saw it and tried to lay hands on it, it transformed into some devilish creature, some kind of winged imp. I swung my axe at it, trying to swat the thing, but then it took off flying and ran.
That's not a beast, that's my pet.
What the devil sort of pet is that you should have trying to sneak its way into the underhalls, woman?
Do not touch him.
Well, he does not need to be paying any heed to down these stairs. We're here to guard. Perhaps if you had some kind of interest in having a weird denizen of yours come visiting, you should have let us know.
Oh, he's just curious.
He'll be dead if he tries to come
Like
back.
this little bastard on my
I swear
desk
to God,
right now. Could you say-
when I slammed me axe down, it must have missed his pointy tail by barely a farthing.
Oh,
No.
where did he go? I will get him.
He flew towards the arena. You best cut those two off, because if they find him, they'll probably chop him in half.
I'm gonna take off running.
Yeah, I'm gonna start running also.
Radavan's gonna walk a little bit faster, but he ain't running.
Alright, so you kind of follow through to the entrance to the arena right here, and you can see two dwarves like, he's in here somewhere. I know. I see him fly through the center gate. Just keep an eye out on the exits. And they're kind of like walking into the center, like stalking around, holding their axes raised.
You two, put those axes down. Now.
He's not bad. He's not a pest. He's just curious. We'll get him.
What, you know of what it is that we're hunting?
Yeah, he's a friend. He's a little animal. He's like a pet.
Alright, everybody that is there, give me a spot check.
Okay.
I mean, I'm coming. I'm not there just yet. But...
Moseying.
Mosey on
Two.
down.
Let me ask you something.
Let me ask you a question. Alright, okay.
Freaking cow. I could probably hear him right now. Or feel his emotions, at least.
Yeah, he is absolutely terrified right now.
Why? Just some dwarves?
With huge axes that just tried to cut him in half.
Nothing to be afraid of.
Oh, cow. You're mean.
Alright, you kind of, both you and Marlo are kind of glancing around and there's no sign of him.
Okay. Like, Radavan! I'm gonna try to, like, say, Cal, please stop. We're in the arena.
Okay, he's like,
No
stop
one will
my
hurt
ass,
you.
these psychos are trying to cut me in half.
They
He
won't
said,
cut you in half.
He said, I'm over on the northern side. He said, if you look really closely, you can see me. I look like one of the tiles.
No.
Okay.
So I'm gonna appear. I'm gonna show up finally and just be like, "Where is he?"
Okay.
Look on the tiles. Over there somewhere?
Alright, Radavan, give me a
Freaked
spot
out.
check if you're looking.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Okay,
Boy.
well, of course, it's not surprising, seeing as Cal is a master chameleon, that you're unable to spot him. Okay, finally he sends you a message and he just says, look, get the dwarves to go down to the southern side and I'll make my exit through the back.
Fine. I'm gonna march over to the dwarves and I'm say, let's go this way. I think I see him.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm still
start
looking
to
for
follow you in
him.
that direction. Okay, as soon as their backs are turned, you guys suddenly notice a gray rock-like shape just suddenly scatter across the side of the arena and disappear out of the back, one of the back archways and up and around.
I'm gonna follow him, but I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay.
I'm just gonna watch Marlo leave. As I watch Kia lead them away, I'm just gonna shake my head and be like,
Okay, so Marlo, you kind of follow the gray stony shape over to the edge of the wall here, which is kind of like, you can hear ponies or horses are braying from inside the building there. And when you get there, finally, as you start approaching, you suddenly see the shape kind of merge from being a strange stony gray to a kind of like a scaly red shape. and then shortly afterwards it morphs into a more familiar black, sort of a grey tabby cat.
I like it when he does that.
Cal,
Okay.
what happened?
Cal, are you okay?
Oh yeah, I guess I'm not there. Sorry.
Yeah, he kind of looks up
Forgot.
at you and just says, "They're assholes."
Yeah, they're not the easiest to get along with. I don't know why they got so bent out of shape just seeing you flying around. I mean, it's...
It is apparently they took great offense at me trying to go down that flight of stairs to see my mistress. I barely escaped with my life.
Well,
Is it-
they don't know that you're intelligent, so maybe they...
I'm more
Thought you
intelligent
might-
than them, obviously.
You're more intelligent than I am. but maybe they
Well,
were
yes,
afraid
that's
you
probably
might...
true as well, but that's not the point, is it?
Maybe they were afraid that you would damage something. I don't know. They're very prideful of the stuff
I'm
they have down
sure
there.
that they were just guarding, preventing trespassers. Makes perfect sense. And it was just mistress of mine, however, would have taken greater care into not asking me to risk life and limb just to bring her a mere message. Oh, incidentally, that woman that she was looking for, she's at the tavern.
Oh, okay. Well, she led the dwarves away. Do you want to wait here and I'll go get her?
I'll
Kia?
be along momentarily. He said, I just sort of disappear into that hay pile. At which point he kind of like pops down and gets really low and starts creeping along behind the stables.
Okay. Gonna laugh a little and go find Kia to tell her Cal's message.
Okay. All right.
He's
So
okay.
you deliver said message. You guys are in here.
Let's go to the tavern.
All right. So you guys want to head to the
In
tavern?
my mind,
I'm
come
just-
down.
I'm going to say to the dwarves, I'm sure Cal, which is his name, didn't know that the underlevels were off limits. He belongs to Kia. And
He was just looking for her.
It
He
is-
wasn't trying to do anything bad.
a strange creature to be sure.
he's an asshole.
Four-legged
First-
feline that grows and sprouts wings and a tail like a vicious scorpion.
True.
He's
Doesn't look too
Cal's a lot of
trustworthy
things,
to me.
but I don't think vicious is one of them.
Sir, he is an asshole, but he's our asshole. You know, he's that guy who hangs around at
You.
you know,
What's up, Jeff?
please, we won't have him bother you again. We are sorry for this whole mess. Is there anything I could do to make it up to you?
No, I'm just, if it was indeed some strange pet that belongs to you, I'm just think yourself lucky I didn't cleave her in half. Is it a her or a he?
He.
I've wanted to
It's-
cleave him in half many
whatever.
times too. We're sorry.
Well,
It won't happen again.
I'll be bidding you good day then.
Good day.
And he
Said
heads
good
back
day.
to guard. Okay.
Okay. Well, it turns out Captain Vance is in the tavern. Has been for a while now.
Okay, let's go
Perhaps
there
you
and
can buy her a drink and
Okay. To the tavern
fun.
it is as we head to the Delve Inn.
Yeah, I think you might want to get something special for Cal to eat. He seemed kind of upset about it.
I know just the thing.
Dwarf nuts. Alrighty.
Oh yay, I'm already at a table.
Look at you go. Beecham's already secured it. Alright, yeah, so when you walk in the tavern, you can see, as you kind of glance around, Beecham's got the one table immediately into the door on the right. And over by the fireplace, you can see the blonde-haired woman, Captain Vance, and two of her guards sitting down in front of the fireplace. The two guards are kind of leaning in really close to her, so they're obviously having some kind of quiet conversation.
is Skelfmere around?
He is not.
You guys really do just go and sit down at a table?
Well, I might
so.
get some food.
Just you enter, you see our target, and you go have lunch. Okay.
Well, she's having a private conversation right now. I'm gonna wait for the right opportunity. I'm not gonna interrupt her.
Stuff with books. I've lost a lot of energy.
There's a little bit more finesse than just stomping up to her and.
That's what we've done in the past. We've talked to
I
stealth.
know, but I want
to
to.
kind of look at Kate and be like, "That's probably what I was gonna do."
I want to do this right. Maybe have the bar wench bring her a drink and
There
her
are
friends
no bar
there.
wenches in this
Okay, so I
tavern.
forgot. Have the barkeep give them all some drinks. They do look like they're in
since
deep
you've
conversation.
been here, you've frequented the deep delving several times. That is something
Yeah.
you've definitely noticed. If you want a drink, you go to the bar, you issue your order, and Careful Honor Forge hands you your drinks, but he does not come and wait tables. He
Okay.
hasn't done that for Scalfmere. He hasn't done that for anybody. It's like, this is definitely not a weighted service. This is a get it your damn self type place.
Yes, as you say that, I'm going to actually get food and sit down and eat it because I'm getting ready to go take a nap so I can go back to books.
Okay.
So Beecham
Study.
is there, so I'm gonna greet him, obviously, and be like, "Have a good day."
Okay.
He says, yes, I did manage to claim a little bit of information earlier.
Oh, you're in this state. Okay.
I was
Yes?
thinking, oh, you have been having fun.
So,
What information? Yeah,
Well,
Beecham.
apparently, today they're going to be doing open trade, and tomorrow, apparently, from what I understand, there's a curfew and they clear the streets. And nobody is permitted upon the streets for 6 hours prior to the departure of the Big Bird. What's it called? The orifice. The officer.
Yeah, the
Osprey.
orifice. I was thinking orifice too. I knew that wasn't what it was. But
So, obviously, they clear the streets for special delivery or something.
Well, I haven't really been able to figure that out. I've been eavesdropping as much as I could, but nobody seems to really discuss that in any depth.
Do people worry about this? They're just fine with it?
No, it seems to be a regular occurrence, actually.
Um,
From what I understand.
I envy you so much.
In your time since Captain Vance and company has arrived, has anyone in the bar approached them and talked to them? From-
In a friendly fashion, seems just friendly, just, oh, hello, Captain Vance, how are you? And they all seem to know her very, very well. Apparently, she's quite well known here in town.
We don't want to misstep by just, walking up behind her and clearing her throat. I'm gonna look around and see how the other customers are they like looking in Captain Vance's direction on always?
Not
Like
really.
is she,
Everybody seems quite comfortable with her being there. Nobody seems to be like, paying any undue attention to her. She seems to just be over there minding her own business, sipping on a drink, and as do her guards, and they just seem to be having a quiet conversation amongst themselves.
She's just a merchant, Radovan. She's not a princess.
well, she's a captain of a ship from a whole other area.
And you're a noble war priest from a whole nother area.
True.
What if we were to do something that were to make her want to approach us?
Oh, like Marlo did that other day, buying drinks for the whole house. And we can mention we're from far to the south. What about that? We buy everyone around and we say this is on the adventurers from the south, the nobles from the south. The deep south.
You could even call us traitors.
Traitors or traders?
Traitors.
I can see the traders from the south. It might be
Nobles and traders. Diplomats? I don't know.
The diplomats
would you be
from
most
the south.
interested in?
The diplomatic nobles from the south. What do you think?
Okay. That has to get our attention.
Kia,
Just one round, though.
You should do it and take off your hood so they know you're an elf.
Fine.
More exotic, the better.
I'll do my best.
Kiliana, the exotic dancer.
Exotic. Exotic.
But don't say traders because, language
Right.
barriers. It might not be heard right.
What were we gonna say again? I already forgot.
The diplomatic nobles.
Alright, I'm gonna walk up, back straight. Excuse me. Hi. It's me again.
Alright,
You
so
remember me?
Careful Honor Forge looks at you and he says, Aye, I do. What can I get you?
Me and my friends, we'd like to buy a round for everyone in here.
Everyone, really?
Yes, I want everyone to know that we're here to have fun and drinks on us from the diplomatic nobles here in the corner.
And, what's your pleasure that you'd like to provide? Or are you going to leave that up to everybody to make their own choice?
They can make their own choice.
I recommend you don't do that. That could get very expensive.
Oh. Well, what's that you got right there? What's this green cup here? One of those.
That's water, ma'am.
That's washing up liquid, ma'am.
Water
Dishwashing.
for everybody.
That's palm olive. That's Dawn. I was in the middle of washing the bar down. He says,
Perhaps you should just buy everybody, you don't want to appear cheap.
Ale.
So,
A mid-level.
a fine dwarvish ale would be fine for everybody. How does that sound?
Yes.
Cost you about 2 silver apiece. That sound fair?
Sure does.
good,
Just
good.
let everyone know it's from the diplomatic nobles in the corner over here.
Alright, he reaches under the bar and pulls
From
out a
the
large
south.
handbell, and he's like, ching, 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 drinks for everybody! And those folks over there.
Wow!
Are they diplomats or something from, somewhere...
The south.
Somewhere south, far away! And with that, most of the people get up and they start coming over and immediately starts going over to the keg and just slosh filling, mug after mug.
God. I'm gonna look over to see if anyone over there is coming over. From the fireplace.
Okay. Yep, one of the guards comes over and he's gathers up 3 mugs from the counter and you see him kind of like look around, catches your eye and he's like, just nods politely.
Might I help bring the other 2 over to your corner there?
Well, he's like got all 3. He goes, no, I think I have these, thank you.
I'm just gonna nod to him.
And he turns around and heads back over. And hands them out. Captain Vance kind of spins around and you see her looking. And again, she catches your eye and she's like... Just puts a thumb up.
I'm gonna do my mysterious elven bow and then go back over to this table.
What's a mysterious element?
All elves are mysterious when they bow. It's funny.
As you go to walk away,
just like...
careful, Honor Forge says, ay. He goes, I estimate about 60 silver pieces, so 6 gold.
Oh, right. I'm gonna hand him 7 gold for the help.
Oh, thank you very much. Very much appreciated.
Is being exotic good, right, man?
Well,
Does it help? 'Cause it didn't really seem to do much.
she looked in my direction and she knows I exist
A
now.
lot
That's
of
a step
people have
up.
smiled at you and nodded and waved and gone, "Arr," and raised their mugs in your thank you and stuff like that. But nobody
So-
has basically pissed themselves and go, "Oh my god, a free drink!" and come flocking to you. Oh, we're not worthy. None of that's really happened.
I think we've laid down the seed anyway. She knows of my existence. We should
Yeah.
approach it cautiously.
Just go ask her about her ship. Ask her if she's seen any cool things, been on any adventures.
Oh, yeah.
People like to talk about themselves.
It's true.
Uh-huh.
It's just 3 of them over there?
I'm just looking at Kia like, what the fuck did I just watch?
I'm gonna stand up
Continually
and puff.
plastered on my face.
Just disappointed that I failed. I'm like, fine, watch this.
You know what happens when kids say that, right? You just wait around for the shit show to happen and then just cringe. You know what it means is Kia's going to come back to the table crying in a minute.
She's gonna hold my beer out of it.
Okay, so
sit
you
over here.
head over to Captain Vance and her 2 guards. As
Excuse
soon
me,
as you
Captain.
get like about to here, the 2
Okay.
guards have already like spun around and are looking at you. And then when
Pleasure to meet you both.
Vance realizes that they're suddenly on high alert, she kind of like looks around and she's like, "Oh, it is the bestower of ale."
Yes, and you must be Captain Vance.
Indeed. And can I help
Yes.
you in any way?
Well, my friends and I are just travelers, and we happened to stumble here into this city during your trading day, and we are quite impressed with your ship over there.
Ah, the Offspray, yes, and I had noticed that you were, not from around here.
None of us are. We thought you might be good company if you wanna. Would you mind grabbing the table next to us? We'd love to chat.
She kind of looks at her 2 guards and says, "Our discussion is concluded. Yes, let's come. Let us go and meet with these foreigners."
When she turns around to her back to Kia, Kia's gonna go like, yes! Yes!
Little happy,
Wander back
Kia's
this way.
happy dance.
So as I see them approaching, I'm gonna say, Beecham, go to the other end. Get shit-faced, but get out.
Alright, he kind of looks at you and he's like, "Excuse me?"
First impressions, you know, we don't want to... And I'm gonna hand him like a couple of gold. And we're like,
I'm
You
gonna
know.
look at Radavan. You're telling Beach.
Believe me, I don't need your charity right now. And
look,
fine.
I'll make
I'm
it up
not
to you,
going
I
to the other
promise.
end because I prefer this one, but I will go and take a vacant chair by the fire.
You're a good man, and I'll make it up to you, I promise.
No, that's fine. I fully understand. I'm
No,
all useful
I
to you when
promise.
necessary, and I gather all this information from you. Now, all of a sudden, no, Beecham, off you go, wander off, somewhere do your own thing. That's fine. I understand. Yes, your lordship. I'll leave your presence immediately. And he kind of stumbles and staggers away from the table. And when he gets halfway, he kind of turns around and he like looks at you all, and he deliberately does sticks his head in the air, and it looked really pathetic because he's too drunk to pull it off. What he really did was kind of throw his head up and almost fall over as he stumbles and staggers across the entrance to the delve, and finally ends up just collapsing in a chair.
That was mean, Radavan.
Don't worry, I got him covered. I'll make it up to him.
Why couldn't you stay?
He might say something that we don't want, you know. I've
Can
been
you
in
let
that.
me stay?
I'm gonna kind of look at an empty chair next to Beecham, but say nothing, and kind of be like, "You're fine." And I'm gonna look again at the chair, and then scooch back over.
Very good.
You're noble like us. We're good.
Alright, so Captain Vance is perched on the far end of the table, and her guards are on the other side, kind of like creating like a little bridge between her and the dwarves behind them, and are poised on the edge of the table should they need to leap into action where you're concerned.
I'm gonna just lift up my mug of ale and say, "To lucrative trading."
Okay, she just looks at you and she says, aye, indeed.
I'm gonna lift mine up as well. So you go.
I'm
Hail.
just gonna look at both Radavan and Kia like, what the hell are you doing?
My name is Radovan Rainier. It's a pleasure to meet all three of you.
And she says, as you have, I'm sure, already gathered, I am Captain Corinthia Vance of the Offspring.
And you're fine gentlemen.
And she
You
kind
nod
of like,
to
just
each of
looks
them.
across and she says, this is Darwin and Rackfield.
Rackfield and Darvin?
Darwin. Yes,
Darwin.
they are personal guards of mine. And you see Darwin and Rackfield kind of look at each other and grin as she says that. She says, so, am I to take it that the purchasing of all that ale was for my benefit? To gain my attention, yes? Or am
Yes,
I
ma'am.
completely overstating the situation?
Oh no, we wanted to talk to you.
So what about?
Well, we are from the far south, a kingdom known as Arconis. We are nobles of said kingdom, up here on business, pretty much to see. There's a potential situation that we were investigating.
So
And it
all
brought
of
us to
you
the
are
city.
from the south, yes? You do not hail from up here in the north? Not perhaps from across the mountains?
Well, I'm gonna
Go
look
with
at
Marlo.
Marlo.
I'm just gonna keep eye contact with Radman to see if he gets the name of where I'm from right.
Speak for yourself, Marlo.
Because you don't remember, do you?
No, it's Fujinami, but come on.
Doesn't matter where I'm from. Just tell her what you need to tell her.
Marlo here is from Fujinami. Have you heard of that continent?
I have not. But, and you see her kind of like looking and carefully eyeing everybody in the establishment, including, you know, the couple of humans that are at the far, far end in the far right corner. And then she says, fair enough. So, it's not necessary for me to maintain that accent then. Fine. Good.
What?
Uh.
An accent? Why did you put one on?
Well, never mind. Doesn't matter.
It's
But,
a part of the mysterious bow kind of thing.
Yes,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
information that's. Let's just say that it was for my own curiosity. Just to ensure
put on
that I
accents
was in,
sometimes, too.
The proper
Fully
type of
understandable.
company.
If I could put on any kind of accent, I would, believe me. My line of work.
So you're
It's a long
from-
way.
You're from the south.
Yes, a kingdom called Arconis, capital city Iridian.
I have heard. Yes, I have heard of Arconis and Iridian, but I do not have license to travel there.
Really?
Is it because of its geography?
No, I do not have license to travel there.
Fair enough.
The Offspray is permitted to go several places, and Arconis is not one of them.
Well, there's a situation with the Valkyrie that we are investigating. Is that a name that's familiar to you?
Yes, it is. Hence the feeble attempt at an accent. I had possibly wondered if you were somehow of a Valkyrie bloodline yourselves.
Well, at the moment, we're representing the lowlanders who live south of the mountain, down on the grounds.
Ah, the heathens, yes.
Well, they're not
Well,
necessarily
I
heathens.
only know them from what the Carvarakian dwarves refer to them as.
mean, they are-
we have no dealings with them ourselves.
Well, they are simple folk and proud in their own way and stubborn, very stubborn, frustratingly so. But the issue is they've been attacked recently by the Valkyrie, and they just want peace, and it seems the Valkyrie just want war.
Okay.
And we were sent to at the very least, open up a dialogue with Valkyrie to see what their intentions are, because we are concerned that if, well, the heathens, as you put it, are killed off by these Valkyrie folk, that my kingdom is next.
Well, I could say I sympathise, but quite honestly, other than flying to this continent twice every year, to trade with the Cairnemoore dwarves, quite honestly, what happens in this kingdom is something I'm oblivious to.
But you know about the Valkyrie then. Do you not trade with them too?
No, I'm not permitted to trade with them. And from what I would understand, it would be a foolhardy thing to do so.
And the hill dwarves to the north of here?
Haven't had dealings with them either. Nope, this is the only dwelling that we visit here in this landmass of Arconus, whatever you want to call it.
Might I inquire about the accent then? You said something about the Valkyrie.
Well, it's this far north. I wondered if, seeing as it was remarkably coincidental that there were a group of humans, and initially I did not realize that you were of some other race. I'm not familiar with what you are, but you don't seem to look like everybody else. But it wouldn't be the first time that the Valkyrie had shown an interest in the Osprey.
Really?
I just wanted to make sure that you weren't, spies, or, sappers, or rogues that had come to do us
Well,
harm.
Beecham did say that the Valkyrie were looking at getting ships and stuff made. Maybe that's why they're interested in the flying.
Well, the ships those ships were not in the air, but yes, I mean, I can see why they would be interested in the Osprey.
So,
Osprey.
you thought that perhaps I might be able to, me and the Osprey might be able to assist you in your, civil uprising?
Did we think that?
No, Captain Vance. The last thing we would want to do is impose our issues and problems on you on the first meeting.
Okay.
It's
But
just
the second meeting.
our second meeting.
Maybe.
Our concern as diplomats of the South is that if the Valkyrie are gone, if they go unchecked, this kingdom could be surrounded and restricted in their movements, and we like Carverac and its citizens. We don't want them to be self-imprisoned because the surrounding world is a danger to them.
I visited this plateau, as it were, many times over the last decade and a half, and I can assure you that they've pretty much self-imprisoned themselves by choice.
That's fair enough.
Have you seen the walls?
We have
Walls.
seen the Valkyrie have some flying creatures to bring flying creatures to their aid themselves. We have
Well, no.
dealt with them.
I don't know how many of these flying creatures that they have, but getting over these walls for anything that doesn't fly would clearly be quite a challenge. Getting through them would be probably tantamount impossible, even for us. And I assure you that dwarves are quite capable of defending themselves from the air if necessary.
That's fair enough.
If your hopes are to convince the dwarves to help you in your little battles, I can assure you you're not going to achieve it by getting them to be fearful of the outcome. Because quite honestly, they're not frightened of anything. They believe themselves to be completely impervious to just about everything up here. Even though that could be foolhardy, you would have a very hard job convincing them otherwise.
And so, in the foreseeable future, do you see expanding your trade? I mean,
That's not for me to decide or to say. I merely go where I am told to go.
because it was you and your folk who made first contact with Carvarok. Is that true?
From what I understand, yes, indirectly.
Well, Arconis and Iridian is a beautiful kingdom with many things to trade. If in the future you guys want to travel further south,
I will mention that to the guilds when I get home.
a lot of fruits and vegetables and livestock and the like, fish and a lot of fish. Ugh. And snozberries, right? Or what is it called? Raspberries. Gazzleberries. The gazzleberry pie. It's really good.
He says, yep, I'll definitely mention that.
And I guess, lastly, do you have, perchance, anything you'd be willing to trade?
And there we have it. Listen, I suppose if you're interested, I can... You want to see the deck, don't you? You want to get in the ship. It's okay, I understand.
Well, actually, honestly, we procured some items of a magical nature in our recent adventure outside, and unfortunately the dwarves here do not have a way of identifying their properties, and we were just curious if it was possible that someone on your ship could.
Why would you think that? She kind of looks at you very curious, and you notice that the two guys with the two guards sort of like lean in and frown a little bit and start looking at you and then looking at her nervously.
So Kia mumbles under about you have a flying ship, so I'm just going to echo that. I'm just going to say, because you are the only people we've ever met that could fly on a ship.
Give me a diplomacy roll.
Oh, God.
Oh, diplomacy, don't fail me now.
Diplodocus roll.
Come on, you've got to have better
24,
diplomacy than Marlowe, and I have
Okay.
a pretty high
With
diplomacy.
that, they kind of
believe
like,
it or not.
You see her look, and she kind of sinks back and becomes less tense. And upon seeing her do so, the guards both relax. She's like, "That's a fair statement, I suppose." Well, it's getting late, and tomorrow that won't be possible. So, if you're interested, I can take you up the ladders to wander around on the upper decks. Upper decks, mind. Please don't try to go below decks or climb the rigging.
Wouldn't dream of it. I hate heights and climbing.
Well,
I don't look it, but I usually wear
if you're
plate
ready,
armor.
let's finish up these fine ales and head in that direction, shall we?
I'm gonna drink mine kind of nervously since I don't want to climb a rope.
All right, and after that, she gets up and heads out the door, waiting for you guys to follow.
I'm gonna get up and follow.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the perfect time for us to take our break. So you guys are following Captain Vance. It's late evening, down to the Offspray. All right, Captain Vance pulls out a whistle from her pocket.
Damn, that was a really good whistle.
A rope gets lowered down, and she puts one foot in the loophole, pulls on the rope, and it gets lifted up. Shortly afterwards, several rope ladders get rolled down from the riggings above, and you guys are welcome to climb them. Her two guards scaffold, kind of like scamper up them fairly effortlessly. Once again, as we said before, proving that their plate mail is pretty light. Alrighty, up you go, folks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very, very awkwardly and not gracefully at all. I'm climbing.
Climbing. If you can take a 10 on it, if you have a climbing skill of 10 or above.
I really don't like this.
If you have a 10 or above, it's a no-brainer.
Do I have to?
Sorry. Kia awkwardly climbs up, looking a little bit unsure-footed. Marlowe does a fairly decent job of getting to the top. Radovan Rainier, on the other hand, clearly, as he's climbing up, the rope is swinging to the left, it's swinging to the right, the damn thing's spiraling. He cannot get a foothold, his leg goes through. Finally, from the top, after watching him struggle for about 5 or 10 minutes, at this point, Marlo and Kia, you're at the top. And all of the... When you're up there, there are a lot of these guys wearing this kind of ornamental armor, are kind of giggling and chuckling to themselves, watching Radovan attempt to scale the thing. Finally, Vance says, "Oh, for pity's sake, lower him the rope." And they lower down the rope with the foot noose on it. And she kind of looks down and screams, "Put your foot in that, and we'll pull you up."
I'm gonna do just that.
Okay. As he's being pulled up, Marlo and Kia you can basically hear them referring to him as like, "Oh, look at that, comes up just like a lady. I bet he's a right precious specimen."
Don't you say that about him.
So
He's
finally,
more man than any of you guys.
gets to the top of the rope, and as you get
I'm
there,
actually kind of embarrassed.
you should be.
So, I'm just not going to make eye contact with Radovan for a while.
Well, that's not. I'm not making eye contact with anyone either. I'm getting up there and looking at the deck, kind of like.
All right, okay. Once you are up on the deck, honestly, it's pretty much what you kind of expect a sailing ship to look like, except it has fins out to the sides of it that help it kind of cut through the air and help it navigate. By the time you've got up there, at the very top, on the raised decking at the back, you can see Captain Vance is standing up there behind what appears to be a huge, big, large wheel. For all intensive purposes, other than the extra rudder at the back, which is more like a large dragon's tail, and the fins on the side that almost kind of look like small dragon wings, the deck itself is very much like a galleon. There's a large open grate or closed grate that leads down into a hold. There is a raised area that goes up, and there's a couple of doors that lead into the lower depths of the ship itself.
Screen's black for me.
Yeah, we don't see anything.
Really?
Yeah, we see our icons, and that's it.
Alright, let me move you off and move you back.
Did you remove the
No,
fog
I
of
bloody
war?
well didn't, did I? So hold on, let me reveal the area
It's a beautiful ship, Captain.
that you can't see. Here, let's try and do...
There we go.
Look at that, there you go.
Cool.
Holy ship.
Alrighty.
Nice.
Okay, holy shit, right. Alright, so once you're up there, you can kind of see... The ship itself is probably about 100 feet above the city. But now you can see below the balloon itself, there is actually a small mini cabin suspended. There's a large kind of what almost looks like a chimney stack goes from the center of it up into the balloon itself. And you can see just periodically glancing over through kind of glassish windows what appear to be bearded children, nay, gnomes, peering down at you. Like through the glass.
No.
I'm just gonna look up and kind of like, still kind of embarrassed.
All right. So Vance kind of like, after securing things, she comes down and she says, "Well, here it is, the Osprey." She says, "I know. Doesn't look that impressive when you're standing on the deck, does it? Everybody
beautiful.
seems to think that it's going to be something of some marvelous, fanciful, fantastic origin. Quite honestly, all the magic happens up there."
Magic indeed.
What are
Thank
those
you.
creatures?
They're gnomes, Kia.
She says, "They are indeed Mountain Sidorian gnomes, members of the Alchemists Guild."
Never heard that word before.
What, alchemist?
Oh, I have, haven't I? Yes, I know that word. I'm just thinking about Never mind. My
You
bad.
know, they are the ones that have the intellect to create such a, well, practical vessel.
They made this whole thing?
Well, no, they're responsible for keeping it airborne. The Engineers Guild were responsible for certain things, and of course the Shipwrights Guild was responsible for the construction of the hull.
You guys love your guilds.
Well, in Sidoria, we have a very strict and organized culture, to be honest. Nowhere near as far aloof as you hear in this continent.
Fascinating.
Yes, in Arconis, there's literally the royal family, the nobles, and commoners.
And you have
Pretty
all this
loose.
expansive land to explore and frivolously frolic around. Oh, how we envy you. Never mind.
There's not really much frolicking. Most of the space between settlements and towns is quite dangerous.
As well, remarkably, travel between our settlements is fairly safe. With the limited means that we have to get from A to B.
Does everyone travel with airships?
Well, clearly everybody on board this vessel does.
Clearly.
But you came here to marvel at the Osprey and possibly trade. Well, no doubt you are familiar with everything the dwarves have to offer. So perhaps I can interest you in some things that you will only find from Sidoria. And she's like, clicks her fingers, and you see a couple of her men servants kind of go downstairs and emerge up, dragging kind of like wheeled trolleys behind them. You kind of don't hear like a boom, 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 boom as they come up the stairs. It's almost like a smooth, flowing slide. And you realize that the edge of the stairwell actually has runners for the wheels to sit upon. So it's very carefully architectured to where they can just bring these trays up. She says, so let's see, how about pocket fire? Something you've never heard of?
Haven't. What is that?
All right,
I'm
she
interested.
pulls out what appears to be a small cylindrical device about yay big. She says, each one of these will, well, quite honestly, keep you warm, at least your hands and your thighs warm. Called pocket fire because where we come from, it's pretty chilly, much like it is here. So you slip one of these in each pocket, and it'll provide you warmth for up to 8 hours without being refilled. And of course, you can just refill them, relight them, and have infinite amounts of warmth for your hands. We find them very useful for when we use ranged weapons.
Might I take a look?
Bows and crossbows and such.
Of course, because your fingers will get
What's
frozen
inside
and
of
you won't be
this?
as effective.
Sorry?
What's inside of this exactly?
Simply a charcoal stick in amongst gauze that was engineered to not catch fire. You light this charcoal stick. She says, let me demonstrate. And she kind of opens one up and pulls out a charcoal stick about yay long. And then she gets some flint and steel and kind of like lights a small lantern, holds the charcoal stick over it, and you see her going until about probably half an inch of it is glowing red, and then she puts it back in and closes it up, and then she says, here, hold on to this for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
She says, well, while that's working, how about some high altitude ale? 15 gold a keg or 5 gold for a case of 12 bottles? You think
I
it's
think
high
we're
up here, you
interested
should
in
go
ale.
where we're from. Brewed at an incredibly high altitude, it has a rather crisp flavor and somewhat of a rough kick.
So a cask is how much gold?
For a keg,
Sorry.
15 gold.
For Beecham?
Sure.
I was a little rude to him, you know, it might smooth
Yeah,
things.
you were.
So are you talking about your lush of a friend?
Yes, we
Oh,
we
he'd
didn't
probably
want...
prefer some of our Sidorian spiced wine. I'll sell you that for 24 gold a case, or a case is 12 bottles, or 2 gold per bottle, if that's what you prefer.
Just get a bottle right then. Oh, that much.
He's my friend, Kia. I'll do a case of the wine. 24 golds.
Fair enough. A case of Sidorian wine for the gentleman, if you don't mind. What about a tent fall? Ever heard of one of those?
No.
He says yes, it's a small triangular tent that has ropes hanging to it and a handhold. Should you find yourself falling off of a large height or a cliff face, you merely pull the rope and grab hold of the metal handle, thrust it above your head, and as long as the wind isn't too particularly heinous, it will break your fall to quite a reasonably slowed pace. Meaning you can possibly, instead of dashing on the rocks below, maybe just scratch and bump your knees a little bit. And we sell those, 30 gold to the dwarves. We'll give you the same price.
I'm gonna pass on that one.
But how's the pocket fire?
By now, it's actually gotten quite warm. It's not like boiling hot, but I mean, it's definitely a warm heat that you can hold in your hand. I mean, if you had one in each pocket and was to put your put your hands in your pocket, you could tell it would do a very good job of warming your hands. Yeah.
Holy shit! Did this dude develop the little pouch that you put in your pockets, like when you go hunting and stuff? That's amazing.
Damn straight he did.
But how much for one of those, the pocket warmers?
Oh, just 5 gold each. Each one comes with 12 sticks of charcoal. You can buy additional sticks for, well, I don't have that many. I have about 20, I think I have about a 24 share. So, yeah, we charge 5 silver per share, so a share is 12. So if you want an additional 12 charcoal sticks, that's 5 silver. I've got 24 of those available, if you're interested.
Well, I'll take 4 of your pocket warmers, please.
Fair enough.
And
so 20
1
gold.
extra share.
And 1 share. Okay, 20 gold and 5 silver it is.
We're buying so much shit.
Okay, what about climbing irons? These are something we developed. Climbing irons, you basically attach them to your shoes with these straps and harnesses. And they make, while they do slow your regular movement down, they do make climbing rather much easier.
Yeah, you might want to invest in something to help you with climbing. Right, Van?
I can sell you those at 10 gold a pair. Mechanically, they give you +5 to your climbing skill, -10 to your movement.
Don't worry about that, Van.
Yeah, I'm not. I have my own means of climbing, although you were not privy to that right now, but thank you. That's unnecessary.
There's no problem at all. We offer rope sets.
We have our own rope, thank you.
Let's have some other items of the magical sort.
Well, no. It's
Well, we have
Stash that you don't show
mind
people.
powder.
what? No.
Mind powder.
Oh,
What is that?
Well, it's a very limited supply and something that we don't regularly sell to those that we don't know very well. But,
how about? So I'm actually going to take out the ring, and I'm going to say it's like in a handkerchief. So I'm going to unwrap it because I don't want to touch it, and I'm going to say this ring is magical, and we don't know how it's magical. If that makes any sense to you?
Okay.
Is there any way to identify what it can do? Because it was from.
None of us crew here have the ability to do such things. I'm afraid.
That's okay. I'm gonna put
Give me
it away.
a spot check. Actually, no. Give me a sense motive check. Okay. As she says that, you notice her briefly. She cuts her eyes upstairs to the loft above the gnomes. But she's like, "Yes, none of us here have the means to do that."
Well, it would be very. We procured this from rather malicious people with bad hearts, if you will.
Well, then why
And-
would you want it? It's probably something foul and evil.
That's what we need to discern, because say on my adventures I get killed and someone loots the body, I wouldn't want them picking this up thinking it would be helpful and then hurting themselves.
Okay,
I want to
then-
know its properties.
Oh, makes perfect sense. Then throw it away.
But it could also
So
be
it's
of
not
great
on
help
you.
to us. Are you sure there's no? I mean, the people who made this beautiful ship, they
maybe-
probably.
If you're worried about that sort of thing, you know, the mind powder might be of use to you.
Tell me what that is, please.
Well, I have a limited supply of it. I could sell you a dose for 5 gold each. I have 6 doses available. But you pretty much inhale it through a small cone, and it does something to the mind to where it shields you from being able to be influenced or controlled beyond your will.
Oh,
Does it make you smart? It doesn't make you smarter? It seems like it would make you smarter.
No, not really. It doesn't make you any smarter. It just kind of makes you impervious to... Imagine the brain as it was is a... You've got a bone around the brain, your head, that's a protection. Well, there are certain types of magic that can easily infiltrate the brain and control or influence your thoughts and decisions. The mind powder pretty much makes it to where you're unable to be controlled in that way. Or at least it gives you a very strong protection against it.
Do you have something that'll make you smarter?
Not really, no.
sorry, Captain Vance. I won't need the powder. I have my own means of protecting my brain. But what about the folk above? Could they possibly look into this? We'll pay, of course, more than...
Just that ring.
How much?
I have a dagger and
Well,
a quarterstaff.
Really? How much would you be willing to pay?
Well,
Hypothetically, let's just say...
Yeah, see, you do have a way
there
of
was
helping
somebody
us.
that was able to assist you. What would you be willing to pay?
So I am aware that a pearl is required for the casting as far as I've seen.
Oh, really? I don't know, but...
That in Arconis goes for 100 gold pieces. I would offer double, 200. For each item, 200 per item. To be identified so we know what it can do.
And you have how many items?
The ring, there's a dagger, and a staff. So 3 items total.
So we're talking 600 gold.
Correct.
I don't know. We need to leave tomorrow, and the diminishment of their power could possibly delay us. Oh, I don't know.
700 gold.
You seem honest people, so
friendly.
I do believe, under the circumstances, I could possibly afford a day's delay for 700 gold. You're sure you're not interested in any of the mind powder?
See that Marlowe has wandered off. I'll say, yeah, two for the monk. You know, just the monk.
Okay, 10 gold.
No.
I might point out that while it is very effective, there is a small chance that it you may become addicted to it, and then it has rather unpleasant.
Do not buy that, rather than
I'm gonna totally buy it.
But it's a small chance, trust me. When faced with the possibility of having your brain controlled by a vile and evil denizen, the slim chance of addiction is but a trivial thing. It's definitely not for recreational use, you understand.
I only would buy this for good faith, and also with the encouraged suggestion that you suggest about possibly visiting Iridian and Arconis in the future. Just good first impressions, if you will.
have clearly willing to trade in a reasonable quantity. 700 gold, we agreed, right?
So I'm going to give him 754 golds, because that's for everything.
She says, I think I might be willing to do something that I'm really not supposed to do. Have you ever heard of BAM sticks?
No.
No.
Oh, what the? You can't tell me they have shotguns.
She says, a BAM stick is a small... And she kind of like... and ushers you towards the top deck.
Okay. We'll follow her.
I'm gonna follow as well. Oh, I actually have to move. Sorry.
Okay, she's up here behind the wheel. When she gets up there, she says to her first mate that's kind of standing there, she's, go and make sure that the cargo is properly secured, will you? Right you are, Mum. And then he goes wandering down the stairs.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Incidentally, they have a large black dog chained, like, to the deck up here as well.
The Grim.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna approach.
Right,
Yeah.
she opens up a small pouch and pulls out what appears to be a piece of bamboo that's probably about 4 inches long, and it has a string hanging out of it.
Okay.
She says, this is a BAM stick.
A BAM stick.
She says, yes, you set fire to the tip here, and you throw it. And after you set fire to it, about 5 seconds later, the bamboo will split, letting out a very loud crack. Quite a great distraction, to be honest. Doesn't really do any harm, but very loud. And I can sell you these for 5 gold pieces. Very magical.
How many are you willing to part?
Well, I'm really not supposed to sell them to random folk, so no more than 3 apiece.
Wait, why would we want these?
Well, think about it. You
I
have
thought you
some...
were going to help identify our items.
Well, I'm going to arrange that for you for the 700 gold. I'm just... This
Okay.
is a courtesy on the grounds that we're doing such great business right now.
Alright, alright.
But imagine it. There are enemies creeping up upon you, and they're about to discover you, so you light a BAM stick and hurl it off in a random direction, and suddenly it lets out a loud boom, and they'll suddenly be distracted and go rushing off to investigate the situation, and then you pounce.
I don't think so. I have magical means to do that without these BAM sticks.
Yes, well, we don't, so the BAM sticks are rather useful for us.
I will take 3.
Excellent. 15
I am
gold it
so
is.
fucking
Oh
happy.
wow, Radovan is like the worst impulse shopper ever.
Right?
I am a
What
kid
a
at fucking Christmas, okay?
statue.
She says, now then, I can't permit you to be in the presence of any of the Alchemist Guild, but you have my absolute promise and word. If you leave me the items that you wish to have identified, I will take them up to them, have them identified, and return them to you in the condition that they were gifted to me, and then you can pay me the 700 gold, and at that point I will give you the information.
Sounds reasonable.
Fair enough, thank
I
you.
understand I'm asking you to trust me here, but
Well, you've been most kind. This is a good opening negotiation,
yes,
That-
quite.
Like ripping us off so bad.
probably. But I don't care. I'm getting my fucking items. That's what I'm doing.
Like a tourist in New York.
So I'm gonna hand over my item.
Okay, so what are you giving her?
The magic brain. That's all I have in my possession.
Okay.
What if we
magic
did one
ring.
item at a time? That piece of shit.
What? Sorry?
One item at a
Well,
time.
that's hardly going to be conducive of helping me get out of here on time.
Fine.
I'll do that, but I'd ask a little more in the gold department if we're going to do it that
No,
way.
Here, take my dagger, take my staff.
Okay.
I'm titling this magic crack in my inventory.
I grimace and take out those 2 items and hand them to her.
Okay, so what do you
Here.
have? You're giving her the dagger and your staff?
The staff, yeah.
Okay. righty then. She says, I promise you I will make sure that these are back in your hands within the... Well, I really don't know how long it takes. Probably sometime later this evening.
Well, we will be at the inn. Thank you very much, Captain Vance.
Not at all. I'll send one of my trusted crew with the package, and you'll give him the 700 gold?
Yes, very much so.
All right, then. Well, we of the Offspray are very pleased to meet you, and I will be sure to relay my compliments to the nobility in the city of Osrinas when I return back to Sidoria.
Great.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to bow and descend the steps.
All right. Okay. With that, the ladders are there to climb down. Now, during this time, Marla, you went to the front of the deck. Is there anything you want to do there specifically?
No, I was just looking around at the boat, and looking over the side and everything.
Okay. Watching the people move around like little ants and stuff below.
Fuck, I have to climb down now, don't I?
No, they'll
Yeah,
lower you down.
you can just jump.
I want to go down like a lady, please. Thank you very much.
Ladies, it's a ladies' ladder.
Lady ladder.
Okay. Alright, so you guys descend down to the nether city down below. Alright, once you're back down onto the streets, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Or do you just want to go and wait it out until...
Yeah, I want to wait it
What time
out.
of day is it?
It's like late.
It's
right?
late by now. It's late evening.
Well, I'm gonna go catch a nap so I can go feed some more.
Yeah,
Okay.
be at the tavern.
Okay, back to the tavern you do go.
Speaking of naps.
Speaking of naps. Delicious naps.
I'll have the golds, all the gold that I owe, separated for her for when the time comes.
Alright.
So
Okay.
it'll be in like a plastic baggie.
A plastic baggie. In a Ziploc bag.
It's in a fanny pack, Gore, okay? Jesus.
Alright. Okay. So you guys return to the tavern to rest up for the evening.
Correct. Were we given the other items, like the pocket warmers?
Yeah, anything you purchase, you've got.
Okay.
So pocket warmers were 5 gold apiece. You bought how many? 4?
I bought 4, yeah.
Okay, so you got 4 of those plus 12
Charcoal sticks.
Charcoal sticks. So basically, a charcoal stick lasts 8 hours.
Okay.
Okay, and then you bought a couple of doses of the mind powder and 3 of the BAM sticks.
The BAM sticks? Yes, okay.
And a case of Sidorian spiced wine.
I
Jim.
am not going to go to him just yet because I want him to be sober when I offer my condolence gifts. I don't want to waste it on a drunk, angry person.
Okay. Alright.
So yes.
Yeah, we'll just wait there then.
So Marlo, you've pretty much gone upstairs and gone to sleep?
Yes, must
Okay.
power nap or attempt to.
nap. Alright, yeah. Well, of course, as you attempt to power nap, once again, the strange vision of a tiger image, the white tiger with strange blue glowing eyes, invades your every whim as you start to fall asleep. It's like, once again, like as your eyes get heavy, wah! It's in your face. And again, just like before, you can hear it roar. When you wake up, you can feel the heat and see a small amount of like vapor in the air, like the thing was in your room, breathing down your neck. You know, again, it's very, very unsettling, but I mean, it's happening so frequently now that you're starting to kind of like, I'm not saying you're getting used to it, but you know that once you get past that and start to fall asleep, usually it just leaves you alone. So it's like you have to deal with it and then move past it. Okay. So Marlo's going to sleep. You, does Radovan and Kia want to do anything specific, or just wait until someone shows up?
Just wait. We're just waiting.
All right. Okay, well, about 3 hours later, one of the Sidorian guards comes wandering in with a large rolled bundle under his arm.
Wave him over.
One of which clearly is a staff. He sees you and recognizes you and comes over and drops it down on the table. He says, these are yours.
Thank you.
And then he reaches into his, reaches down underneath his arm. And you see him, pry the metal plate away from his arm socket. And he pulls out what appears to be a scroll. And he hurls it on the table. And he goes, there you go.
I'm gonna hand over the gold in my fanny pack.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Right, man would wear a fanny pack.
Have a blessed day.
I know.
And he wanders off. Okay.
I'm gonna open that scroll. We're reading that shit.
Alrighty. Okay, so the scroll doth read. It begins to discuss initially the ring. It's a ring of stone skin. Once per week.
Ooh.
From a purely from a magical standpoint, a ring of stone skin once per week. It will imbue stone skin on whoever uses it. So it has a command word written down next to it. It's actually a pretty decent item because it's 250 gold's worth of diamond dust you don't have to spend.
Yay!
All right.
Yeah.
It has 50 charges.
Okay.
And actually, no, that's a lie. It has 42 charges. It had 50 charges. It's got 42 left.
You bastard using it based on my charges.
Basically, if you are not familiar, the subject gains damage reduction of 10 versus anything that's adamantium or adamantite. It ignores the first 10 points of damage. So when you cast it, the first 10 points of normal damage are pretty much ignored.
Mm-hmm. Of any hit up until 150 or something, right? There's a...
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't say what the caster level is, so...
Okay.
You really don't know...
how much.
How much, but you know...
It could be up to, so, yeah. Okay.
I mean, you know that it's at least... I mean, you know from a... it's quite a reasonably powerful spell, so... It's fair to assume that it's going to be quite a few hit points that it will absorb.
Okay.
You know what? For argument's sake, we're going to go ahead and just tell you, just because it's easier to make it up. 110.
110? Okay, cool.
So that's 110 hit point buffer once per week that you can use it. So you can't use it more than one time a week, and you have that amount of charges.
Cool. I'm going to put it on my fucking finger.
Okay, how many magic rings do you already have? Do you have any?
I do have, I do actually. I have the Ring of Mind Shielding, yes.
Then you're okay, as long as it's only 2. You have 1 on each hand.
Oh, is that how that works? I actually never read that.
In 3.5 it does, yeah. You can only have one magic ring per hand.
Yeah,
Interesting. Oh, it's like 5 fingers, 1 ring only. Okay.
Alright, the dagger.
Yeah.
It is a +3 magical dagger. It doesn't have any better properties than that. Just +3 damage, +3 to hit.
Okay. Staff.
And your staff... Sorry, hang on. Alright. Not that you need any more stabs.
Right? I'm gonna have 2, 1 in each hand like a ring. I'm gonna be a dual-wielding sorceress. I don't need spells anymore.
Here we go. Alright.
It's the Staff of Instant Death.
Another staff of burning venom.
Yeah, another one, right? No, there's only one of those.
Another one.
Alright, nope. It is a staff of rainbow patterns.
Wait, really?
Yep.
Okay.
What?
What is that?
Rainbow patterns is a illusion spell.
Ooh.
Sorcerer's level 4. A glowing rainbow-hued pattern of interweaving colors fascinates those within it. Rainbow patterns fascinate a maximum of up to 24 hit dice of creatures. Creatures within the fewest hit dice are affected first. Among creatures with equal hit dice, those who are closest to the spell point of origin are affected. When a simple gesture of free action, you can make a rainbow pattern move up to 30 feet per round. All fascinated creatures follow the moving rainbow of light, trying to get or remain within the effects. Fascinating creatures who are restrained and moved from the pattern still try to follow it. If the pattern leads its subjects into dangerous areas, each fascination creature gets a second save. If the view of the light is completely blocked, creatures who can't see them are no longer affected.
So I'm gonna look at it and look up and be like, well, that's interesting.
So is that like a charge type thing, or like
It is, and it has 21 charges left in it.
Okay. Wow.
I mean, that could be somewhat interestingly useful, I guess.
I
Maybe-
can create a rainbow, Radovan, and wave it around, and people follow it.
You're not gonna get my lucky charms!
Well, are you going to use the dagger, or should we give it to Beecham? Or Marlowe? Maybe she'll want it.
Beecham backstabs a lot, doesn't he?
I mean, he only has a rapier, right? So, just dagger slash?
You're right.
I mean, if Marlowe wants it, obviously we give it to her, but she's like,
Use it there?
she's loaded to the 9 with items. I don't know.
I think Beecham might benefit the most from this right now.
Well, offer to him when he's sober. You know,
Yeah, I want him to really thank me.
I want it to beg me. You can have this, Beecham. Beg me.
All right. So
Beg
okay.
me.
with this, I'm gonna go to bed.
All right. Okie dokie. So you retire, Kia.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
so tired.
So in that case, then let's just have you waking up and having breakfast and doing whatever the next day. So what do you want to do the next day?
Wait to be summoned and go to the library while we wait to be summoned, right? Because I think, I mean, Ironbeard might
Alright.
want to see us. So.
Not a problem. So you want to go see Ironbeard?
Well, if he summons us,
Okay, but if he doesn't summon you, what are you going to do?
library.
Okay, so you guys are going to descend down into the library. Well, that's probably the best thing because you don't get anybody. Nobody summons you. You have an entire day in the library. Nobody messes with you whatsoever. So,
Wait, was today the day that they were gonna take off?
sorry,
Was today
Yes.
the day that
the Osprey is leaving today.
and this is the day where there's 6 hours of closures?
Yep. So if you're downstairs, you're pretty much fine from that.
But I want to see it. So,
They won't let us leave. I'm just going to be steeped in my books for the whole day. So
Okay. Right, Radovan, give me your intelligence check, and Marlowe, give me yours. If Kia's not, Kia,
I'm
are you helping
helping.
Marlowe?
oh,
Okay, then Marlowe gets your. Alright,
No, my
Radovan gets
God.
Oh,
Marlowe, oh my God!
guys, what are you doing? Looking at the.
The pop-up books don't help Marlowe.
fuck.
I can't begin to tell you how much that upsets me, but I'm
I
glad I
know,
had
right? Because it's
I'm
like you were
you did
so
when that
close. And Radovan with an 8 sets 13 points of research for him.
Wow.
Okay,
Fuck.
right.
That's so
Hey,
terrible.
it's getting more obscure. It's getting more obscure. It's just too funny. So okay. Marlowe. Oh, actually, you know what? I just realized something.
something good.
Well, no.
Well, then stop.
No. Well, we've actually had we had a cheer and we had a donation that I didn't thank you, and I'm an asshole for not doing so.
Asshole.
Shame.
So let me see here.
Shame.
So Flutto
Shame.
gave us a donation.
Hello.
And said, I'm glad you mentioned that it's Thursday, yay, how we roll. I believe that's today. No, yeah, that's right. And then we also had a kind cheer. For some reason, this is being really weird tonight. The dashboard's not working very well. Let's see. Okay, it just said cheer for charity. There you go. Many-sided dice. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, that good deal. Okay, cool. All right. It is indeed Thursday. Thank you.
It's almost over.
All right, so yeah, you don't really, neither one of you discerns any more additional information. By the time you come up, Captain Vance and the ship is long gone, and the city is returned to its normal flow.
Yeah, dang it.
I think, I mean, if we spend the whole day and we didn't get summoned, I'm just going to play it by ear, because I'm still waiting for tomorrow anyway, so...
In theory, your commission should be ready.
Oh, so I'm going to go get my jeweled cats.
I'm gonna go do hammer exercises.
Okay, you're going to go
I'm upset over the damn books.
Okay, so close, Marlo. I really thought you were going to get it today.
I did too.
You needed, like, nothing.
And that's
so
exactly what I rolled.
Radovan, you're going to the jewelers.
I am.
Okay, let's do that, because this is... we're going to end... I have a feeling we might end tonight on a fun note.
So I'm going to enter.
Okay. As you walk in, you see... Ah, Mr. Renier! I have your beautiful statue ready.
Well, let's see it. It's great.
Okay. He goes over and reaches under and brings up what appears to be a bronze cat. It's a pretty good representation of a cat basically sitting up with its paws like this and just bolt upright, covered from head to toe in blue and green and red and purple small gemstones just scattered. Honestly, it's a gaudy looking damn thing. It's pretty hideous. He says, no, you understand, this is not the normal thing that I would choose to create, but going on your instructions, I present to you a jewel-encrusted cat worth 1,500 gold pieces. I was going to make it from clay, but I know you said you would like it breakable, so it's clay underneath, but I gave it a fine lacquer of a very thin, kind of a bronze leaf over top for effect.
You are a true craftsman, especially with my crude and tasteless instruction, so I do appreciate what you managed to pull off. It is exactly what I need.
Yes,
and I do appreciate it.
And I'd appreciate it. You'll notice I did not sign it underneath, and I'd very much appreciate if you didn't mention to anybody that it came from this particular establishment.
Don't worry, I will not be a problem.
Under the circumstances, for your discretion, and he slides 10 platinum pieces across the table to you. We'll consider this a discount. In lieu of your discretion and not mentioning that this particular beastie a gorgeous thing, statue, whatever it is, come from me.
No, my intended recipient of this gift will love it, I'm sure.
Yes, and she's a lucky lady, can I go as far as to say. Someone that is willing to spend such vast amounts of money on such, beautiful art. Anyway, it's been a pleasure to serve you. And just remember, anytime you want to come back, by all means do so, but don't tell anybody that you're coming.
I'm going to take it and I'm going to wrap it up and just, not shove it, but put it in my backpack, which is noticeably a lot lighter since I've offloaded a lot of the gold. And I'm just going to put it on my shoulder and say, you are a treasure of a man. Thank you.
Yes. Have a fantastic afternoon. Or evening by now.
Yes, I'm going to bow and back out the door.
Oh, dear me. If the word gets out that I created that monstrosity, I'll be ruined.
So I'm going to leave and head back to the tavern looking for my people.
Okay.
Oh.
I guess that means we're going back to the delve in then. All right. So by now, late evening. What is that kind of? Oh, that's right, because these are a little bit bigger. Okay. All right. So, Kia and Marlo, are you just like loitering inside the tavern by now, or?
I think so. Just eating.
Yeah, I'd probably look a little.
Disappointed?
Yeah, disappointed is a good word for it.
Right, well, when you two get back in there, before Radovan arrives, Beecham comes wandering over to the table and he says, am I permitted to join you this evening, or does his lordship Rainier have a problem with my presence?
I think you'll be very pleased, actually. So go ahead and take a seat.
Very well, my lady. I've tried to refrain from drinking quite so much this evening. I will confess I've had a fair amount, but I am still reasonably in control of my faculties. And he sits down.
So, I'm going to enter.
Okay, so Radovan comes in with a stupid grin on his face.
I want to see everybody, and I was like, I come bearing gifts. Everyone, sit.
Okay.
We're already sitting, but okay.
It's a wonderful evening, although our pursuits have been in the library have been slow and headache-inducing. But yes.
For reminding me.
No, it's okay. We'll get somewhere. We'll get summoned by Ironbeard tomorrow, and we'll find something out at the library, and then we'll maybe get a detachment of dwarves to assist us back to the lowlanders, and we'll get a trade deal. We're going places, guys. It's exciting.
And we're here today, Beecham, to give you a couple things.
Why are y'all being weird?
So the first thing is I'm going to take out 2 of the pocket warmers, and I'm going to slide it across the table to Beecham, and take out 6 of the charcoal sticks and hand it to him as well.
He picks them up and he's like, yes, this is wonderful.
You light the charcoal, you put it in, the gauze keeps it from burning, and you can put it in your pockets, and you stay warm for 8 hours per stick. Huh? It's cold out there. Yeah.
You'll have to show me, I suppose. But
Move on to the next thing, Radovan.
I guess.
It's not impressed.
So I'm gonna get up and like scurry over to the bar, because I gave him the wine to hold, because it's like carrying a case of wine. I'm gonna ask for it, get it, and bring it back over, and scurry back over.
Bring over a huge crate, like that's a bottle's chingle inside.
Sidorian wine for my friend. For the time I was rude to you the other day, it was not intentional, and I was on the wrong. So.
For me?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Well, you shouldn't have. I mean, don't get me wrong, you absolutely should, but you shouldn't have. And he prizes the lid off and pulls out a bottle and looks at it. This is a Sidorian spiced wine.
It's supposed to be very crisp.
16%. Yes. What say we open one?
Sure.
Pulls the cork off and fills up some glasses, and then just sits the open bottle on the side and picks it up and... Oh yes, very warming. You can taste the nutmeg and the cinnamon.
Get
Glad you like it, Beecham.
Yeah, you're
I'm gonna look over at Kia and kind of like nod enthusiastically.
It's kind of like a Christmassy sherry, but it's like got a strong nutmeg and cinnamon kick to it. Initially, it's like, I'm not sure if I like this, but you can definitely tell it has serious warming features.
Okay, we have
Well, I very
something
much
else.
appreciate that.
Something else. Okay, I'm gonna take out my bag and take out the dagger, and unwrap it and present it to Beecham.
It's like,
This is very special.
seriously, I don't know what I've done to warrant such attention?
Just
this
take
is for
this.
me also?
Use it, and you'll find your attacks more powerful, and
Well, it's
It'll
clearly
hurt
a very, very elegant and balanced device, and
you'll use it, right?
beautiful. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Wait a second. You're not fixing to dismiss me, are you? This is like my severance.
No,
is that it?
No. On the contrary, trust me. Trust me. Okay?
This is well, Lady
You're invaluable
Kira,
to us.
thank you very much for this very kind gift. I shall treasure it always. And he tucks it down into his belt with a big smile on his face and takes another deep pull of the fine spiced
You're
wine.
fired.
Okay. So there's
Beecham,
one more
you're
there's
fired.
one more gift, and there's a little story here. If you will indulge me, I'm gonna look around at the table.
Well, Beecham just kind of like picks up his glass and
What else did you
leans
get him?
back to listen.
So, I've been thinking about the possibility of us failing at our mission, right? And we're so far removed from Arconis, and what if we encounter some crazy creature in some cave somewhere that skewers us limb for limb despite our best efforts, and we fail at whatever we're trying to do up here with the Lowlanders, Highlanders, Valkyrie, Carvarek dwarves, hill dwarves, or whatever? What are we going to do? How would the king know? You know, how would Arconis know that we failed and possibly something could happen? You follow me, guys?
I guess, yeah.
So I'm going to reach into my bag. I'm going to reach into my bag and take out the cat and put it on the table, and have it pointing at Kia and Beecham, because they're across from me.
Okay. Beecham looks at it and says, "Huh? What the hell do you
Is
have
that
there?"
What is that?
Oh,
Is that a moose?
I believe the correct term is meese.
close,
Is that a
Marlo?
bee?
Cal like puts his head
A
out and he's
dog?
like, "I'm fucking insulted if that's supposed to be me."
Do I hear this? Because I'm just like
No,
looking.
that's Takia mental.
That's-
That's a
Is
Kia
that
mental image.
Cal?
So there's a spell which I have yet to cast, which I will now. That this is a material component for, and it is for
This?
yes, because it's a very expensive material component. But the point of it is for it not to survive the casting. I mean, not to survive the usage of the spell when it's activated. Does that make sense?
You fucking lost me, says Beecham as he sits down and leans into the chair, or leans into the edge of the table.
It's a very powerful spell of teleportation, and it requires the breaking to release the teleport.
Did we get sucked into this cat?
Well, one of us will, and I'm gonna spend this next time to cast Refuge,
Okay.
and I'm touching the cats.
Now
I'm
we
gonna
know
s-
what you're up to. Okay. So you're imbuing the cat with a refuge spell.
And I'm going to look at everyone and I'm saying, I thought long and hard about the point of the spell. I've been on the road for years now, so I don't really have a home. And honestly, in thinking about it, home to me is the Panarian Ridge where the fight was. So when you utter the words Renathon Aurelian and break the statue, you will be transported to far to the south to the Panarian Ridge, where the war was fought.
To the ridge, not to home?
Well, it's where I've been living, thinking. It's my abode. It's, to me, that's where, you know.
I see.
And
Just
and
one
then
of us, though?
and then with Kia asking that, I'm gonna slide it to Beecham.
Okay, Beecham looks at it and he says, I don't know what to say. I mean, really, I don't know what to say. What the hell am I supposed to do with this?
Hold on to it. If Kia, Marlo, and myself fall in battle and it looks dire, and you see that we are going to fail in our mission up here, you break that statue, you stay Renathon Aurelian, you go back to Arconis, and you tell the king what we've done.
So in dire circumstances, you want me to be the one to survive? You understand, I would gladly... Well, actually, that's a complete lie. I'd be reluctantly willing to give my life for any of you.
I thought about giving this to, or holding on to this myself, or giving it to Marlo or Kia, and we kind of are all together. I know that I would die for Marlo and Kia, and I, like you said, you would, and I have a feeling Kia and Marlo would do the same for us.
No, you maybe. I don't know that Kia would die for me. Marlo, possibly. I mean, she has demonstrated a couple of times that she's willing to step up and take her ass whooping in my stead. Although there was that one time that she buggered off and left me to get beaten to shit by a bunch of mercenaries.
Well,
I suppose it could just depend on how it happened.
I'm gonna look over at Kia and Marlo.
So you want to
don't look
trust
happy
me
at
with
all.
my judgment,
I
then?
really wish I could get drunk. That's what Marlo was thinking.
So, it is my judgment. If I believe that things have gotten dire and you're all about to fall in battle, I'm to break this cat and say, Renathon Aurelian, and I will be teleported, whisked away to the Panarian Ridge, and from there I can then hightail it towards the city of Iridian and warn the king of...
Well, they would need to
Your
know
death.
that there's of our deaths, and also the potential for the northern aggression. So they at least have some forewarning that there's a possibility.
Well, what can I say? I promise you faithfully that I will only use it in such circumstances.
Don't get scared and then just throw it on the ground.
No. I believe I've proven myself time and time that when the chips are down, Beecham is willing to bring his rapier to bear and get stuck in.
Oh god, now he's talking in dirt.
But but yes, I suppose I will keep it safe, keep it hidden in my satchel here, and should the circumstance arise, I will do as you request, Sir Adavan.
What am I doing right now?
You mean a lot. You mean a lot to us, and we appreciate it.
I must confess, yesterday evening I felt a little bit out of sorts, but you have reassured me that my presence here in your company is most needed and welcome. So I thank you for that.
And now you're fired. Now get out. I'm gonna laugh after I say this
And he
to
goes,
show I'm joking.
Smash! Renathon Aurelian!
I am going to look at Kia. What's her expression? Is she okay? You want to see pissed off or?
Not pissed off, just confused, but also like, okay, interesting idea. I don't know why you did a cat though.
I did. I had to tell the shopkeeper that it was for you, Kia. No offense. Just it would be weird if I had to fashion a jewel-encrusted cat for another man.
Why did it have to be a cat?
Well, it was easy. It was easy to lie because there was some truth to it. Does that make sense?
No.
Well, he's a dwarf. Yeah.
I get it.
I'm gonna awkwardly sit back in my seat, kind of be like,
He is the best person to have this. It's a good idea.
Beecham says, well, I am moved beyond words. You have gifted me a strange cat thing. You have gifted me a precious dagger. You have gifted me a case of wine, which I happily will... it's not just for me. I consider this a gift for all of us. We shall all share in this beautiful, wintry, warming, spiced wine and these interesting charcoal stick-burning things that actually do seem to feel quite warm. So I'm sure they have a great value in our travels ahead. So pray tell, what now? What are we to do here in Carvarak? What are we to do here on the morrow?
Await summons.
pretty much. wait some to try to strike up a deal. Do research in the library in the interim, and then I guess return back to the Lowlanders and report what we've done.
Well, seems our trip here to Karavac is coming to an end. So, yes. Well, to everybody's good health, and the fact that we have enjoyed the pleasant company of these bearded fellows, and can be off this accursed mountain and back amongst people more akin to our own kind, maybe within the week. Cheers!
Cheers! I'm gonna hold up my glass.
Cheers. Kia's
And with
gonna.
that, I shall retire. And tomorrow I think I'll run around the city and do a little shopping. And yes, and you can await your summons. And your
Nobody will buy that cat.
hope you're and Hawk the cat for 50 gold, 25 gold. Because 25 gold is worth more to me than a pointless cat. And you can continue to ponder your volumes and tomes.
Cheers. I'm gonna drink again, kind of
Alright.
still smiling
Okay.
like an idiot.
And with that, Beecham ends up going to bed. So, do you guys want to have any discussion, or are you done for the night?
I hesitate before I take my cheers, like I have something on my mind,
Okay.
and just kind of look down a little bit. That's about it for me.
And I'm just with my face down on the table.
You go to
still.
sleep in the chair.
Well, that was productive, right, guys?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
sure.
think Beecham got everything he deserved.
Are you feeling a little left out on the gifts department?
What?
Meaning, you know.
Well, you make this dumb cat thing, and you set it on the table when it's clearly a cat, and you point it at me. What am I supposed to think?
I pointed.
Not a
I
point. That
maybe
was
got
kind
my
of a
hopes
dick
up
move.
A little. No one's ever given me anything. I got excited. I'm sorry.
Aw.
What do you mean no one's ever given you? I literally just said I would die for you. That's the best gift I can give. What are you talking
No
about?
one's ever given you anything, Miss Kia? It seems like there would be tons of people giving you things.
I don't want to discuss that.
You have 2 staffs and a rod of random
Yeah,
shit.
I
Kia's,
earned
like,
these myself by
loaded down
fighting
with
monsters
magical
in caves.
staffs and rods. Which
looted
magical staff should I
bodies.
use? Oh, I don't know. Let me just randomly pick one from the air. That one. Zoom.
There's a difference between looting bodies and getting a gift from a man like yourself. I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna go to bed.
I'm gonna like. I don't have my head down on the table anymore. I was very interested in that conversation. Radovan, I think you fucked up somehow.
No, God, look, Beecham and her were both across the way from the table. What was I going to do, point it at nothing? I mean, I had to point it at the table.
You came in saying that you were bearing gifts for everybody, and you got excited. Maybe you should get her a present.
I just promised I would die for you and Kia. That's a gift.
Yeah, but
And
it's
the wine.
different when you feel like Kia does.
She's an elf. What does that mean?
Radovan.
Oh, he's done. Look at him.
I'm not very smart, but even I see what the problem is here.
Oh, this is precious.
It
Well-
wasn't that she didn't get a present, it was that she didn't get a present from you.
Well, I gave her the dagger and the staff. I mean, I looted those things.
It's not the same, Radovan. You went and asked somebody to specially make something.
Well, it was. Well, I'm just gonna lower my head, like the same expression I did when I was on top when I was trying to climb that fucking ship.
And I honestly
Instead
don't
of-
know what to tell you, because now if you go and try to find her a present, she'll think it's just because she got upset.
So it's Catch-22, which is a great book that doesn't exist in this universe, but it has perfect relevance to what I just said.
I think that we need to be on the lookout for something to make this up to Kia. But it has to come from you.
Well, yeah, I mean, my other thought would be that if Beecham bit the dust before we failed, the statue would go to her. But
Radovan, it doesn't have anything to do with our current situation or what we're doing now or what we'll be doing later. This is about what's between you and Kia.
I don't know what is between me and Kia.
Well, maybe you need to think about it.
Okay, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna get up with my glass and just go upstairs.
All right. Okay. So
I just want to see a book about a cat, damn it. I
black
guess
and
I'm
white
gonna
puppy
go to bed too.
mittens. Okay. All right. So the following day, what's everyone's game plan?
Back to the
Marlowe's
boat.
study.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you guys.
Wait to
no,
be summoned.
fucking one.
Gotta do that.
All right.
Ways
so,
to be summoned. Research. Obviously, I'm not talking to either Kia or Marlo. I'm just doing my own thing down in the library.
All right. You know what? You don't deserve anything. You're an asshole.
I'm gonna, like,
Even
while
I
I'm
think
doing
you're an
that-
asshole.
While I'm
Hey,
doing that, I'm gonna be
How
looking
dare you?
for...
Kia had one feeling and you just messed it up.
Hey, DMs
Yeah.
are supposed to be impartial, Gord. This is
Hey,
unfair.
I am impartial. As a DM, as a person, I think you're an asshole.
While I'm looking for books about the cat and everything, I'm also going to be on the look for anything that could help Radovan with his Kia problem right now.
But-
Anytime I find a book that has anything shiny or girly on it, I'm going to nudge it to Radovan.
Boy- yeah,
wait for him to make eye contact and I'll be like,
Boyfriend's guide to dummies, or whatever. Dummies guide of boyfriends. That's what
How
you
to
want.
treat an elf.
All right, Marl. So Radovan, let me get you first. Give me a roll. Give me a research roll.
Please be okay.
Yeah, that's what
Oh
you
my.
get. That's what you
There you
get.
go. We deserve nothing more.
All right. Marla,
+1.
you're currently sitting on 26 points of research. Kia, are you helping?
Yes.
Okay, D20 plus 1. You just need a 3, you know what? Oh, there we go. Nice roll. Okay.
I'm so excited.
Alrighty. So we're gonna.
Never
Oh, let me cue up some appropriate. Let me
Ooh,
break it out
music.
here. One second. I don't want to kill that damn medieval town music. Okay, so as you pick up yet another book, you notice that finally you're looking at one that has like a cover that appears to be kind of like a cherry blossom. And it reminds you of home. You start looking over the book, and you realize by the type of language and the references that clearly whoever wrote this book came from Fujinami.
Ooh.
As you start reading through it, you kind of like skimming the pages, and finally you come to what appears to be the charcoal drawing with like various different dyes around the edge of a huge depicted white tiger with like blue flames and blazing blue eyes. As you enthusiastically read, it is referred to in your tongue as the Baihu. The Baihu is a strong and powerful evil spirit that is used to control various different aspects of balance. It is one of a handful of incredibly powerful spirits that are known to roam the world. There are gods, and then there are the celestial spirits. The term celestial suggests that they should be goodly. However, many of these have become somehow corrupted and malformed. The Baihu is one of these. As you start to read, it refers to a paragraph that seems to mention something about dreaming of a Baihu. To see a Baihu in your dreams represents an aspect of your personality that has unquestioned power. Issues of power or issues of other people that may have total power over you. The Baihu often symbolize a problem or powerful fear that you'll do absolutely anything to avoid confronting. Negativity. The Baihu may reflect an unquestioned fear. As you start to read this, suddenly you get a flash image that knocks you clear out of your chair. It's of a huge Baihu spirit. And then behind it you see a familiar face. The man that slew your mentor in a disgusting display of dishonor is standing behind it with what appears to be some kind of strange magical leash around its neck. He kind of like looks at you and glowers, and it kind of like, nobody hears a damn thing. Nobody, of course, sees this, except all Marlo and Kia and see is you are thrown from your chair. Like a force that they're unable to see knocks you straight out of the bench across as you smash into the back of a huge stack of bookshelves, and several books kind of like collapse around you. You hear a voice that says to you, "Yes, Marlo, I'm still alive, and I'm coming for you." And we'll end things right there, I think. That's an appropriate place to leave the show for tonight.
That was a mean book.
Hey, pretty good read, really. Hi there, I'm Gorbad. Welcome to the Orc's Nest. I'm the Dungeon Master here on How We Roll, and if you'd like to follow me personally, you can do so on Twitter @Gorbad. Check out thedmblog.com for all things Dungeon Master and Dungeons & Dragons related. And of course, you can follow me on twitch.tv/Gorbad. Also, guys, don't forget to keep up with all things How We Roll. Follow us on Twitter @HowWeRoll. Check out the website www.howweroll.com, and make sure you follow us on YouTube as well. Cheers, guys.
Shagget here. On How We Roll, I play Radovan Rainier, War Priest of St. Cuthbert, who just so happened to author a new academic book that's coming soon. It's titled Libido Rectification for the Required Propagation of Arconis' Depleted Men-at-Arms, or more affectionately titled Mandate Number 2 and You. You can follow me on Twitter at @neb_convos for upcoming book excerpts, just to get the hype going, push up the sales. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, I'm the Dragon Spooker, and I play Marlo Rayfell, monk and resident badass for How We Roll. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so using @DragonSpooker, or follow my Twitch channel, which I sometimes stream on, twitch.tv/TheDragonSpooker.
Hi, thanks for watching another episode of How We Roll. I am Jane Ivana, and this is my lovely cat, Norman, who really doesn't want to be here right now. You can follow me on Twitter, @JaneOnTwitch with a 0. Shh, don't tell him, he doesn't like birds. I stream occasionally on twitch.tv/Jane Ivana, so you can find me there. And I guess that's all we got. You got something to say? Nope. Peace, suckers. Bye.